Today I will be making homemade cherry liqueur. Hello. So here we are at the beginning of July, and having nothing better to do, I decided to make cherry liqueur. Years ago, my mom and my aunt Maria in Greece, they used to make this cherry liqueur, and when my mom would visit the United States, she would bring a bottle for me and one for my brother. So I've decided to make cherry liqueur this year. So a few days ago, my wife and I went out and we went cherry picking, and we got sweet cherries. I presume you can use sour cherries as well, but you have to use more sugar. So the recipe is extremely simple. You use 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of cherries, sweet cherries, 1 kilo of sugar. Last time I tried it, I found it just a little bit too sweet, and I used 700 grams of sugar. We'll taste it and see what happens, and we'll make adjustments. So if it's too sweet, next year I'll use 500 grams. Or if it's not too sweet, well, I'll take a different route. You'll see. Since the recipe requires 1 kilo of cherries, or 2.2 pounds of sweet cherries, I went to Prospect Hill Orchards. They're located in Milton, New York, and I picked my own cherries. At home I have this 4-liter or 1-gallon glass jar, that I had for my sauerkraut. So I made sure I washed it, and I prepared it for the cherry liqueur. Then I used this handy dandy scale that I have at home to measure the 2.2 pounds of cherries, and I used 700 grams of sugar. 700 grams, that translates to about 1.4 pounds, 1.5 pounds of sugar. But the scale has different units, so 700 grams, that's what I used. Now, if later on I choose, if I find that the liqueur is too sweet, next time when I make the liqueur, I will use 500 grams of sugar. But if you find out that your liqueur is not sweet enough and you want to add sugar to it, after you make the liqueur, you can go ahead and add a little bit more sugar to make it sweeter. So after weighing the cherries and the sugar, I mixed everything in a large jar. Please note that the cherries have the pit, but do not have the stem. I removed the stem. So here's the jar. I have it on a table outside in the backyard. I've used this tape to secure the jar on the table. And also I brought out the nutmeg and half a stick of cinnamon. So what I will do, I will open it up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Open it up and throw in the cinnamon and the nutmeg and close it immediately. So what I will have to do, I will have to make sure the seal around here doesn't have any sugar, otherwise you're going to have a problem with the ends. So as you can see, the cherries do not have the stem, but they do have the pit. So I have the table placed in a strategic location in the backyard. This thing is going to get at least 7 hours of sunshine every day, and that's the best I can do. And so once a day, every other day for the first few weeks, I'll come here and just shake it once, make sure the sugar gets distributed, and this will stay here for 2 months. So the whole month of July, the whole month of August, beginning of September, I will come back and I will add 1 bottle of brandy, Metaxa. I went out a few days ago and I bought a bottle of Metaxa 7 stars. Not 1, not 3, not 5. We went all the way. I got 7 stars. So I will use the whole bottle. By that time, all this sugar that you see here, you will have dissolved, and that's what it's gonna get the sweetness. So here we go. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping away, but this will stay here. And let me just make sure. Yeah, it's nice and clean. There is no sugar outside or anything. See, you don't want to get sugar on the outside because you're going to have a problem with ants. And let's see. And there is Iraklis, Theos Iraklis, Uncle Hercules, the fig tree, growing, doing nicely. So, for the switch, the cherry liqueur process, this is the beginning. Also, I want to let you know that in Greece, the Greek language doesn't have the CH sound for cherry. So this is a TS sound. They have the TS sound. So this will be Tseri Likερ. So here is the jar. 5 days later, the sugar has melted 100%, and it's just liquid now. So this will stay here for another month, almost 2 months, and then I'm going to add the brandy, Metaxa brandy. So see you in 2 months.